Good morning, everyone. Welcome, friends, viewers, and all the ships at sea. My name is Gray Miller. I am the newest member of the Social Media Breakfast Madison board. And we want to welcome you all here today. And as you can tell from our picture, we also love it if you will take pictures, spread the word, let us know, let other people know about it. I personally, long before I was in the board, came to these and learned so much. So that is the focus of us as a nonprofit, is education, first of all, is that we want to help people navigate the ever-changing world of social media. And I'm pretty sure all of you have one question in your mind at some point, whether it's, do I stay on Twitter, or do I join Threads, or how do I make Facebook actually show my ads, or whatever it may be. But you have those questions, and that's part of why you're here. And that's why I came long ago, and it's why I'm happy to be part of the board to help continue that mission. We do this through world-class presentations and educational materials. You can find all of our various presentations online, so if you missed one, or there's a new topic that you want to look at, you can go on the website and find it. We also bring people together beforehand with really good food. The Greenbush donuts are some of the best in Madison, and give you a chance to meet each other and to talk with each other and make friendships and connections and relationships and ask each other questions about things. I was relieved because I had a conversation about Threads this morning with someone, and the person actually said, I don't need Threads. I thought, oh, good. Everybody doesn't need Threads. I don't have to worry about it so much. So there's always a way you can find out and enjoy that. When we meet now, third Wednesday of every month, and we meet here at Dream Bank, which is a wonderful location, and we definitely encourage you to look around the rest of it. You can also see, if you can't make it in, you can always find us on the live stream on our Facebook page, and we are working to get it in even more spaces online. So that will be there, and you can also find write-ups on the blog. So here's the board of directors as it currently stands. Now, if you were here at a previous one, you would have noticed that right here it said, your face can go here. That's what I saw, and so I asked them about it. We're still looking for more people on the board. One of the things about the board is that it is an area where people bring different strengths to help accomplish the mission. And so I will say, if you do want to join the board, don't think it's one of those boards where you just get to sit back and say, I'm a board member, and don't do anything. We actually all really work hard at doing accomplishing the mission of the nonprofit. So you might want to think about it, and on the other hand, you get a really nice mug. So it's definitely worth it. This is where I get to feel like an autocrat here. We want to welcome our newest board member, Gray Miller, who has a background in media and networking. He graduated from UW with InterArts technology degree and has been working around Madison and around the country for about 20 years before joining the nonprofit world, which is what expertise I do bring to the board right now. Keep an eye on that guy. If you want to take a look at us, we are SMBMad everywhere. We need to add the we do. Look at that. We even have Threads on there. I was going to say we need to add Threads, but no, we already got it. If you happen to put us on there, please do tag us, and we would love to connect with you in all of the places. Now, again, part of our purpose as educational is to make sure that we have the people that come educated. So if you hear about a conference that you want to go to, or a place where you would like to learn more, and you just can't find the resources for us, let us know. We will help you go. This is Cassie. She went to the Social Media Strategy Summit, as you can tell, had a good time there. And this can be, an online type thing. This can be an in-person type thing. I don't know if we can handle travel funds, but we definitely can help out in some way. So if you need it, please do let us know. That's what we're here for. You can apply at the smbmad.org/scholarships site. Now, we are always looking ahead. So, what's coming up? Remember I mentioned the Facebook, how can I get Facebook to actually show our ads? Sorry, not Facebook. How can we get Meta to actually show our ads? We have Andrew Foxwell coming. Now, he is a nationally known expert on Facebook ads and has agreed to come and give a presentation. That will be on the 16th of August, same time as this one is. And I personally am really looking forward to it, so I can tell my executive director exactly how we can get that to happen. So please do mark your calendars and sign up and register for tickets so you can check in. Then we have another one even before that, bonus events. So anybody here using the new Google Analytics already? G4, great, you're going to be the co-presenter. Yeah, so when I got the notification that they were going to G4, I was like, oh, gotta start all over again, learn again. This can be your jump start to help you get through it. And it's a good example of how we are trying to keep aware of the trends, aware of the changes, and provide content that will be useful to you and other people. So, if you do want to get involved, you may come to one of our things and say, wait a minute, I disagree with that. I want to say more things about it. Or I have a different topic that has not been addressed that we should talk about. This is how you can get involved. We are looking for more speakers for our fourth quarter and first quarter of 24. We definitely, anybody here do social media? Yeah. It's kind of funny. It's the, what is it, the cobbler's children idea? The cobbler's children have no shoes. We all are involved in social media, but as a result, the SMBMad social media can always use some help, including blog writing. I have done a blog recap, and I will tell you that if you see a presentation and you're like, I really want to internalize the information I got here, volunteer to do the blog and you will go over it, write it out. It's actually simple. I think I wrote like 3,000 words, which Josh said was about 1,000 or 2,000 words too many. So you don't have to be that involved, but definitely it will help out. And just being a greeter and helping us out. Our newest volunteer, Meg, you may have seen her when you checked in right there. So was it fun, Meg, meeting everybody? There we go. We have a definitely a reliable source to say that it is fun to be a volunteer. We would love, much as we love Greenbush Donuts, we are also wanting to give some variety in the breakfast foods that we provide. It's in the name, so we have to have something. And we have some interesting ideas coming down the pipe, possibly. But if you know of a food sponsor, a pastry shop, something that might want to help get their name out here and help us out with a sponsorship, we would love to hear about it. So please do let us know. And we have nonprofit spotlights, because we are a nonprofit that also wants to help elevate other nonprofits. And that is a perfect segue, eventually, to talking about our nonprofit spotlight today. If you know of a nonprofit you want to get involved, there's an application form. So, the Facebook group, Social Media Madison Masterminds. It has all kinds of stuff on it, because I know you all need another little addition to your thread on Facebook. But it does have some good conversations, and it tends to stay away from some of the toxicity that you can't find in other places. So definitely a good thing to do. We want to thank all of our sponsors, especially Dream Bank, and we're going to give them a chance to talk in a moment. But you can see here we have a lot of different places that are helping us out, and there's also room for more. So if you know of a potential sponsor, please let us know. And at this point, I want to bring up Andy, who has been helping us set up this space and does so every week, to talk about Dream Bank and the mission.
Yo, shout out to Mr. Gray Miller. Give it up for him. And then shout out to Steph Shanks. If you haven't gotten your headshot yet, there's still room after. Go visit her. Awesome headshot. My name is Andy Frisky. I work here at Dream Bank. I get so juiced from the third week, or the third Wednesday of the month. Seen a lot of familiar faces I haven't seen in a long time. Obviously, clearly an extrovert. I love talking to strangers, so really glad that everyone's here today. A little bit about Dream Bank, though, for those of you who aren't familiar. So we are a free community resource that is put on by American Family Insurance. And everything we do ladders up towards the inspiration and pursuit of dreams, in large part by helping to remove barriers for individuals. So the way that we do that, there we go, and then I should probably stand in front of the camera too. I do this every month. There we are, hi virtual digital audience. So 9 distinct event series that we have at Dream Bank. Anything ranging from small business and entrepreneurial workshops to an inspirational, motivational wellness speaker series. We have events in Spanish. We have a learning lab series, which is like a how-to or a 101 series. So what I'm getting at is we cast a very wide net in trying to appeal to as many different dreamers as possible, because there's a lot of different people in this world and there's a lot of different dreams. In addition to the events that we host that take place in the room that we're standing in, we also have a drop-in co-working space. So let's say you live on the east side, client lives on the west side, looking kind of for a central location. That's what that's meant to kind of embody. Very similar to a coffee shop vibe without the expectation of paying anything. Everything we do here is free of charge. Or that third space terminology, if you're familiar with that as well. And then all the way at the back of the space, we have a very robust and interactive exhibit, always on site, rotates about 3 times a year, always rooted in positive psychology and meant to embody some of the beliefs and values of the company. Right now the theme is building your dream. We've had this exhibit for quite some time, and that's because it's pretty cool and pretty valuable. So there's a lot of really neat intrinsic takeaways at each of the kiosks that ladder up to the overarching theme that helps you get started and to pursue that dream. If I haven't met you yet, we'd love to meet you. Like I said, love talking to strangers, so come give a shout out to myself and then my lovely coworkers, Eric Lopez and Megan Lund are here today as well too. So thank you. And with that, back to Greg.
Almost done.
Thank you very much, Andy. Yeah, Dream Bank, fantastic place. All right. We also, you may have seen that wonderful shot of me up there on the screen. That was taken by our headshot photographer. Steph Shanks did a great job. She made me look better than any headshot photographer ever has before. And I appreciate that. So please do take advantage of that opportunity if you get it. And if you don't, contact your outside business. It's very well done. So I mentioned the nonprofit spotlight. We have Joe Boucher. Joe, can you stand up real quick? Just let it appear to see you. From Wisconsin. Yeah. From the Wisconsin Innovation Awards, and that is a group that showcases innovators throughout Wisconsin. And what do they mean by innovators? Well, last year's winners included a company that makes brains in a dish, like grows brain cells in a dish to help test pharmaceuticals. A company called C-Motive that works on improving the way that electricity and motion work together for various things. And a Trility Medical, which helps out creating devices that help hearts with arrhythmia. So we're talking cutting edge stuff. As it happens, all 3 of those came out of UW programs as well. So they're very much based in Wisconsin. And you can see that they've had 81 winners in their 9 years of existence. And you can find out what the next year's winner is going to be on October 10th. And that is where their next awards are going to go on, and that's also when you can start doing nominations for the following year. So for those of you who are involved with or know of interesting, innovative companies, keep them in mind. And if you want to learn more about it, Joe's going to hang around a little bit afterwards, and you can have a talk with him as well. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Absolutely. And you can see, here's the places where you can find out more about Wisconsin Innovations. There's a lot of interesting press about them. I looked up. And if you also want to have a nonprofit featured, I'm looking forward to September, which is when the nonprofit I work for will be featured here. But I did ask them before I got on the board. So. And finally, I get to introduce our featured speaker, Greg Mischio. Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yeah.
Great.
Unless you're in Italy, then it's Mischio.
Well,
We're
I'm
not
not in Italy, so I will go with that. And I can personally vouch for the fact that he is a good speaker with useful information. Because I attended another one of his presentations at the Craft Marketing Group. So, Greg, I'm glad you're here, and here you go.
All right, thank you. I think I'm all wired up here. Thank you, Gray. Let's see. Can you hear me? All right, we're live. All right, well, thanks everybody for coming out this morning. I'm not much of a morning person. I mean, I love to get up early in the morning, get my coffee, do the Wordle, like to read in the morning. But I'm not a come out and say hello to everybody, in the morning. My wife is, though. So I'll get up. I usually get up really early, and she's still sleeping, and I'll come out and I'll have my morning coffee, and I'm just like an ogre in the morning. I'm drinking my coffee, and she comes out, and she's just like, good morning. And I'm behind the coffee. I'm like, good morning. And, she's just raring to go. She's like, sleep well? And I'm just like, yes. So it takes me a little while to get going and get the juices flowing. So bear with me as I ramp up here and we get into this presentation. I think I got to switch over to this before we get going too far. So I want to start out here with a little exercise. I want to get everybody up off their seats if you need to stand here, because I'm going to ask you a question. How many people out there, if you're in sales and marketing, please stand up. Okay.
Right in.
Yeah. Okay. Sales and marketing. You guys, parking lot attendants, or what do you guys do? Marketing. All right. If you're in sales, please sit down. Okay. You're kind of a marketer, aren't you?
I do both.
You do both. If you feel like if you work with your sales team, if you don't work with your sales team, please sit down. Okay. And now, out of the people here who are standing, do you feel that your sales and marketing team are well aligned? If you don't, please sit down. Very good, Sam. And Megan, all right, that's good. I actually just chatted with Megan. So Megan and Sam are probably going to pick on you during the presentation. You can help us out. That's Sam Mischio. That's the newest addition of the Windbound team. Thanks, Megan. You can sit down. And you have a standing the whole presentation. Sam is our customer success manager. Joined the team a few weeks ago, and he'll be leading up the efforts, especially more in the account-based management. Account-based marketing, but working with our clients and especially the sales team. So brings a fair amount of sales experience here. So thanks, Sam. So that wasn't a lot of sales and marketing alignment that I saw here, right? It's a really tough one. And, we can see it right here that these two are not aligned. It's really hard to get your sales team to get encouraged to use LinkedIn. I mean, we've probably all felt the struggles if you've tried to get your team on LinkedIn. So what we're going to talk about here, I'm not going to give you a tremendous amount of tactics today. I used to work at CUNA Mutual for a while, and we would have these huge meetings that would go for hours, and I would leave those meetings and I was like, I don't even remember what they said. There's just too much. So I'm going to try and keep it pretty simple so you've got some takeaways. Has anybody heard of Father Guido Sarducci? Okay, we got some old Father Guido Sarducci fans. He used to be on Saturday Night Live, and he had this thing where he said, I'm going to start a 5-minute college, because after you get done with college, all you remember is about 5 minutes worth of knowledge. And sometimes I feel like that after you come out of some of these presentations and you drown. One guy, I do want to point out Egan Heath up here in the front row. Come out and see his presentation on GA4 coming up a couple of weeks. Yeah, this guy is...
I think we're on Zoom, so watch from wherever.
Watch it from wherever, okay. It's better in person, you feel the energy of Egan Heath. But come on out. He's a very smart guy, and he has a ton of tactics and a lot here. So I'm going to get into a few things here, but I'm not going to, hopefully not going to overwhelm you. So who's the man up on the tractor? Man up on the tractor is my father, Sam's grandfather. We're going to see for lunch in a little bit. Very excited for that. He looks a little bit different these days. This photo was taken back in the 60s, I believe. And he's not a farmer. he was actually working at a camp, a summer camp. When he was a little kid, he went with a neighbor kid, and he went to a summer camp, and this neighbor kid was kind of having a rough go of it. And so their family asked my father, George, would you go with them and watch him? Went to the camp, and he met a director there named Herb Summers. And Herb Summers said, I'm going to be opening up a new camp, and I'd like you to come work there. You're really good with kids, but it's a little different thing. They're helping out, and back in those days, they were called the mentally retarded, people with disabilities. And so my dad said, yeah, but he was like 16, 17 at the time. He didn't know anything about dealing with this population. And really, not many people did. Kids with disabilities were kept at home. They were, weren't allowed to interact. And so he's like, I don't know anything about it. And Herb Summers says, I don't know anything about dealing with them either. We're just going to try this. So they launched this camp, Camp Maryhart, and they went and they winged it. But what they did is they didn't make any accommodations for them. They just treated them like regular kids. And my dad said it was an incredible experience. And he really got to know and love these kids. And at the end, when it was time to go home, he said all the kids were in the parking lot and they were crying. And they were hugging each other and they didn't want to leave. And he realized that this was the problem. The problem was they had never been out and socialized with each other. They were always used to being isolated. And he's like, this is incredible. And he made it his life's work to go into learning disabilities. And he was one of the early innovators in learning disabilities. And he taught these kids and he taught teachers at the collegiate level on how to work with them. Now, why am I telling you this story? It's because the lesson from my dad is to see the value in others. And as marketers, when we are trying to work with salespeople and they are not cooperating, we have to remember their strengths and see the value in what they do and work with those strengths. Has anybody read The Effective Executive by Peter Drucker? Egan, my man. One of his biggest points is don't focus on somebody's weaknesses. Don't try and fix their weaknesses. Always play to their strengths. And so what we want to do here in this presentation, I'm going to try and explain how I think you can play to your sales team's strengths. And then it'll actually come around to get that kind of sales and marketing alignment. Okay, so Winbound, just a brief intro about Winbound. We are a digital sales and marketing agency is how I would describe it. We do a lot of traditional digital marketing things. We do the content, create blog content, video content, social media content, and then we do the marketing. So we do paid, SEO, and organic social, and paid social as well. That's part of the paid part of it. So content and marketing. We focus primarily, our niche is in manufacturing and industrial. That's where we do a lot of work. But our model, which is represented here, can apply to any B2B company. What we like to say is, I think up to 60, it's probably higher now, 60% of the customer journey is completed before there's a meaningful sales interaction. Okay? So that sales team is not getting into the conversation until 60% of the journey has been completed. I think Gartner had it at 80% of sales interactions are expected to take place in digital channels by 2025. So what we always say is sales, if you have a B2B company, and that's primarily who we focus with, sales-driven companies, if you have a B2B company, you really need to use your online content to make a digital twin of your sales team. What's a digital twin? In the manufacturing parlance, it is a digital recreation of a product or a process. So in manufacturing, they actually like recreate a product. So when I heard that, I like said, oh, this is perfect. You need a digital twin of your sales team. And in doing that, and in trying to build our marketing program around that, we've really learned a lot about salespeople and become better salespeople ourselves. So we're like reading books about sales, reading the Challenger sales. Sam gave me the hot neuro selling. And we're integrating all these strategies into our marketing approach. And the reason why this is so important, that all this is important, is there's research shows by the Aberdeen Group. This was done a while back, but I think it's still applicable. If the sales and marketing team is aligned, you can expect a 20% increase in revenue. But if it's not aligned, you could experience a 4% decrease in revenue. Okay? Leads are not getting closed. There's miscommunication. You're going to lose money. So that's why sales and marketing alignment is so important. That's why this is such a big part of it. So I want to ask some folks here. I don't want to talk this whole time. My throat will get dry and the ogre will come out. I want to ask some of you, why do you think main reason sales is not engaging on LinkedIn? Kelly, can I pick on you? Oh no!
Oh no. Engaging, like.
Why are they not getting on LinkedIn and spreading your marketing messages and things like that?
I think part of it's probably fear. They don't know how to make it engage. I think it's just the fear of getting started and a little bit of the unknown.
Okay.
I've seen some of our sales team post a few things here and there, but I don't, and you have to be connected with them obviously to see most of it, but I don't see them like, it's somewhat overwhelming if you're like not sure how to dip your toe in. I also think it's some of our sales team, social media, they're there, but I don't think that's something they do. So it's just a little bit.
Okay.
Could you sum that up for our Facebook live stream? Could you just like repeat what you said because they can't hear us on the live?
Oh, I wasn't listening. I'm sorry, Kelly. Can you hear me? I think what Kelly was saying in a nutshell was fear, a lot of fear. She also was saying that they're not doing a lot of things like commenting and things like that to engage. And maybe they don't know where to start. They don't know where to start, and it'll get started. Okay. Anybody else have? You can raise your hand, or I can pick on you. Anybody else? Oh, in the back. I'll get you, Egan.
It's hard for them to tie ROI and sales to their activity and engagement on social media as a whole, LinkedIn specifically.
Yeah, I like that answer. Hard to tie ROI in with social. Egan, did you?
Yeah, related to that, I was thinking it's just different time frames. If I'm in sales, do I have a sales meeting today? Am I making sales today?
Yep.
And if I'm creating content on LinkedIn, that may not pay off for weeks, months, years, and so it's just a totally different sense of time.
Right. Yeah. Time. I mean, you're probably trying to get paid, with that sale sooner than later. So yeah, the time they just. I'm sorry. Are you in the back?
Yeah, I think salespeople are a self-centered bunch, which we kind of have said in 3 different ways. They want to be a data silo. I think that the knowledge that they have hard-earned, many of them are, because it adds value and more sales to them. They spend time commenting and so forth. They're sharing. Most of the sales guys I've encountered have been competitive. Sharing doesn't fit so well with a competitive nature who's out to win the next sale.
Okay, so that's an interesting perspective. I haven't heard that one. They want to keep their expertise to themselves. They don't want the competition to hear about that. That's a unique perspective, and I think you're right. No, I totally get it, and especially with a lot more traditional companies, traditional salespeople. Like, why would I tell your secrets?
It's not necessarily mean, it's how can I use this to make more sales for me?
Yep.
Rather than, oh, I'm going to share everything so everybody can, their boats can float higher. They want their boat higher.
Yeah.
In a self-centered way rather than a, I guess,
Yeah, and it's so funny because I always hear, you always hear that, and that like never happens. Like people don't just I mean, it does happen, but there's a book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, and one of the principles in it is first in wins. So if you're not out there sharing your expertise, you're letting somebody else get out there first, and then they're going to get that top of mind experience. That's how I would counter that, but that's okay. Good perspective, good answers. I think this is a big one. I mean, I think everything that you've said here is very true, but getting the big hurdle, and what I see with a lot of salespeople, and I feel it when I work with them, is I don't feel like they're content creators. Everybody in this room is a content creator. That's probably why you got into marketing. You like it, it's fun, you get to be creative. But I also think marketers are a little bit different than salespeople in the fact they have some personalities, traits that I think are kind of closer to Robin Williams, who's the great comic. Robin Williams was like the master of content in terms of what he did, and one of the funniest humans on the planet. If you've never seen Robin Williams and some of his specials, go back and check out some of his concerts, and you will laugh. But he could just generate content, boom, continuous. But after he passed, a friend of his had an interview, and he said that Robin Williams could just charm a room. He could just take over. He was incredible. He said, but we would get done with a concert, and we'd get on an elevator together, and I felt like I was a complete stranger to him. And he wouldn't talk, sometimes he just wouldn't talk to me. And I think that for a lot of marketers, we don't have the interpersonal skills that maybe a salesperson does. I think that salespeople, who's friends with a salesperson? Who's got a good salesperson? Okay, Steve, what are they like at a party?
Usually pretty extroverted.
Yeah.
Very, striking up conversations with people. I think sometimes it's interesting to watch salespeople because some are better listeners than others, and I think that's a really important trait in salespeople.
Yeah. Yeah. So Steve was saying that salespeople are, extroverted, and they can be good listeners, good at conversation. Somebody else had their hand up.
I did.
Yeah.
I live with one, my husband. By nature, he is a salesman. He doesn't want to admit it. He has a construction company, so I tell him, you're a businessman, right? But he loves networking. Like, it's unbelievable. I tell him, you make friends in your dreams.
Yeah.
Like, he goes to the grocery store and he talks to the cashier, he sees the neighbor Alan, he goes and talks to him like, how can you do that? That's a lot of information. And at the end of the day, he's like, I had to charge my phone 3 times because I was in so many calls. I'm
Wow.
like, that is exhausting.
Yeah.
But I have learned a lot from him,
Yeah.
having that interaction and that connection is very important.
Yeah, that's really good. Thanks for sharing that, Paula. That is so true. I mean, Paula's husband is out, he's interacting, interpersonal relations. That's what they're great at. That's what they're fantastic at. They're not a Robin Williams, and that as nervous, like I get a little bit more nervous coming out here, and interacting with people. I'll forget people's names and, problems sometimes listening in the conversation. Kelly's right, she's experienced it, and my wife will tell you that's true. Salespeople, they're very good listeners, empathetic, they like those connections. So have you ever seen this stat, the 99-1 principle on the internet? 90% of people are the lurkers, they just watch. 9% the creators, and I think we've probably got a lot of creators here in this room, and we probably have a lot of salespeople who are lurkers. I'm always amazed, is anybody, show of hands, who are active on LinkedIn? Do you post regularly? Okay. Do you ever run into your friends and they're just like, man, I see you on LinkedIn all the time, right? And I get that, and I'm like, I only post like a couple times a week. But, you can stay in front of people that way. The difference is that these people are lurkers, and they just go on and they watch, and they don't interact. So I never know if my friends are, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you saw me. I didn't see you. I didn't know you were out there. They don't like anything. There are those contributors, though, and I think if we can't make a salesperson a creator, let's make them a contributor at least. So let's dive into that. And I think I'm gonna die on the hill with this one, but I think this is the real reason, and the reason why I believe this is the key to it, because this is how I built my business. And I think any good marketer should be eating their own dog food, and they should be teaching people what works for them. So I think the biggest thing, and you might think, you talk to a salesperson, and it's like Egan was saying, they need leads, right? And they want to know, if you tell them to go on LinkedIn and post your nice little company post that you wrote, they're going to say, why? Is it going to generate me? Is it going to generate leads for me? And are you over time, as you build your personal brand, something like that, that's going to be tough for them, because I think, like Egan said, there's time. There's that time element. They got to how are your numbers this month? Did you close? Coffee is for closers, right? Glengarry Glen Ross. You got to be closing. And so they're going to say, if it's not generating me leads, I don't care. So you can't win that argument. You go that way. But what you can do is tell them, it'll do this. It'll generate referrals. It'll build your referral network. And any good salesperson will react to that, because they know that's how they get their business, especially in B2B sales. You have to have a good referral network. So you can use LinkedIn to build your referral network. Come at it from that perspective. And that's what we're going to show you how to do. This is a guy named David Fisher, D-Fish, as he was known. I was at a little conference with him. It was like a setting like this, and we went around the room. And he stood up right before me and said, I'm David Fisher. People call me D-Fish. And I'm in sales training and things like that. And then, of course, I stood up right after and said, I'm Greg Mischio. People call me G-Mish. Yeah, so we were bonded from that point on. But anyways, what David says, he does a lot of sales training, does a lot of posting on LinkedIn. A lot of the initial work I do with the client sales team is to help them understand how LinkedIn Digital fits into their existing sales process and actually makes it easier. Tool sets. You got to get them in the frame of mind that you're on there to build your referral network. With that in mind, they're much more likely to engage and get going. So they are not content creators, but they can comment. And a simple way to do this is maybe if you've got some sports fans, you can start out a training session with them and ask them what they think about Aaron Rodgers going to the New York Jets. You can ask them what they thought about the last season of Ted Lasso. Start a conversation like that, and you'll get a lot of response from your sales team, and you'll be like, yeah, you can comment, you can do that. Salespeople are not shy about commenting, except for as the gentleman pointed out in the back of the room. What's your name, sir?
Jeff.
Jeff? Jeff pointed out in the back of the room that they might want to keep that expertise inside. I don't think that's a growth mindset, Jeff.
Yeah,
I know you know.
Content creation, this is pretty relevant to, that, my outlook, my opinion there. It's creating versus.
Right.
It's your hotspot.
A growth mindset is I'm not going to lose clients because somebody's going to take my insight. A growth mindset, I'm going to gain more because I'm expanding my reach, building my referral network. So what you can do is get out there and you can comment on content. And you I think as what Kelly was saying before, is that you need to lead them and help them and get them started on LinkedIn. And Megan earlier was talking to me about a lot of these people don't even have LinkedIn profiles. There is a great fear among salespeople. We brought up fear before about getting on LinkedIn and getting in digital. And so you need to hold their hands a bit, help them get that profile up. I'm not a huge profile guy. I know there's guys like Wayne Breitbarth, who's amazing. Take your sales team to go see Wayne Breitbarth if he ever comes back through here. He makes the rounds through Madison. And interesting side note, he's a big Wilco fan, but I digress a little bit there. So Wayne, can really show you how to write a great profile, and definitely we've got some content on that on our website. But I'm really about getting them out there and getting them engaging and making it part of the routine. So this is, anybody here know Carrie Brown? Carrie Brown here in town. She is the new American Marketing Association president. And she put this together for her sales team. And, she said, well, here's the types of comments you can leave. And here's some examples of comments. And, what is this? This is a sales script. It's a sales script. Give them some ideas, get them started. So there's a nice little prompt that she had out there. Has anybody done anything like this for your sales team? Any tactics you've used to try and get them started? Something like this. If you got something, feel free to, back in the back.
So I don't have salespeople. It's a little bit different when I work, but when I create content that they can share, I share that with them. And then I do have individuals who utilize LinkedIn with those members, and I'll say sales team in parentheses, to help those other sales team members utilize LinkedIn and share content.
Oh, that's interesting. What's your name?
Amelia.
Amelia. So Amelia said she creates doesn't have a sales team per se, but creates the content and then leans on her people who are using LinkedIn to help other people. That's a great idea, a great tactic. But anyways, you can come up with a tool like this. The point is, you want to encourage them to leave comments. Everybody can comment. Any salesperson can comment. I would say the interesting thing, Jeff, in response to what you're saying, does anybody sit and read a post and go through, especially a post which has got 50 comments on it? Does anybody sit and read all the comments? No. Typically not, unless you have a lot of time in your hands. So Jeff, you can say, you know what? When you're commenting, you're really kind of going directly to that person who put up the post. It's like a one-on-one communication right there. So, you know, you can share some expertise there and not worry about, you know, somebody stealing your thunder. The other thing you can do besides commenting, Dutch, hey, how's it going?
I just wanted to comment on that last thing, what you said about, you know, the commenting in the comment section is most effective if you just want to have that, make sure that person that posted it, you kind of engage with them personally. But if you actually have something insightful to say, the article share, because that's going to be at the top of that when you reshare it, and your whole audience will see it, as opposed to, like you said, nobody's going to take those comments. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, Dutch is saying, Don Island comment, you can repost it on your own network and then put your comment up at the top, and then not only does the person have that one-on-one connection, then you're getting it out to your whole network. That's a great point. Love the tactics. So here's one thing I love doing. Who listens to podcasts? All right. Any great business? I'm always looking for new business sales and marketing podcasts. Does anybody have any good ones they want to share? What are you guys listening to? Taryn?
Can't think of the name of it right now.
Yeah. Anybody? Bueller? Taryn?
Marketing Millennial is good. He has a good variety of topics.
Okay. What's his name?
Daniel something.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
There's a guy in the manufacturing sector who calls himself the marketing millennial.
Okay.
He's a huge influencer too, but any other ones out there? No? Okay. Well, this one's a good one. I like to listen to sales podcasts because I don't know as much of sales as like Sam Mischio does, but this is Transform Sales with Wesleyan, and she was a chemist at one point and then transferred into the sales arena. Anyway, she's very active on LinkedIn and a real content producer. So she interviewed this guy named Rene Zamora, who's a fractional sales leader, and he had some really interesting things to say. It's a great podcast. I listened to it. Does anybody use the tool Snagit? It's a great little. You can go and take little pictures, add in comments. Even a salesperson could use it. No, kidding. No, it's a great little tool that even I could use it. And so what I do is I took this little screenshot here and I posted, and all I did was say what I learned from the podcast. I brought out like 3 or 4 things, and I tagged both these guys. Very simple. I mean, you're all basically just regurgitating what they said. Because you know why? Because I want fractional sales leaders in my referral network. Because when I reach out to teams and tell them that we do digital sales and marketing, and our goal is to make a digital twin of their sales team and get better sales and marketing alignment, and give their sales team content that will generate leads that helps people get them to know, like, and trust them. They like that. They realize their sales team, they know all the stats. They know they need good marketing. So they will refer me into customers. And so sure enough, Renee saw my quote, said, "Thank you, let's meet." And we did. And he referred like 3 clients to me, like right off the bat. Now, that doesn't always happen, and set your expectations correctly, but it will happen. It will happen over time if you build those networks and keep those people in your content, keep tagging them, keep, to continue to be active with them. Another very simple tactic in terms of connecting with the right people that a salesperson can do, and we'll get into these activities and how to kind of systematize them, but at the bottom of these, somebody your sector. So this is Will Healy. He is a crazy content producer in manufacturing. He's in the marketing area, but he's super smart, always posts great content, super funny, tells some really horrible, horrible dad jokes. I mean, these are really bad. I'm not going to tell a dad joke, Sam. Don't worry about it. Because they're really bad. Mine are actually pretty good, I think. But anyway, so I go on his stuff because I know there's all great manufacturers, and I look at who commented, and then I go through the comment list, and I find people, and then I actually do read their comments. And then I connect with them, and I say, hey, Bill, you know, I like what you said about that, or I like it there. Making those connections before you reach out to make a contact of your own. Okay, so you're getting on people's radars, right? You're making your comments, you're sharing the post, whatever. That's where a lot of people stop. They'll get to this part where they're like connect, like they'll go to make that connection. And what's the natural salesperson inclination? I'm going to sell to them right away. Hey, I do this. This is what I do. Do you need this? No. This is always the response. Do you guys get bombarded with, everybody's like, you already know what I'm going to ask. You just get bombarded with these salespeople. I'm like, who are these people? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I should be doing that. It's just amazing how many people just connect and want to sell you something, or they'll text that to you. Spam might be it never works for me. If I tell them what I do and can I work with them and sell them something, always fails. All right. You need to do is connect and offer value. You know, I was going to be really clever, and I'm like, ask who knows this guy, and if you know who this guy is, I'll buy you the book he wrote. And then I'm like, no, if they know this guy, they've already read the book he wrote. But does anybody know who this guy is? Bob Burg. Do you know Bob Burg? In the book he wrote is The Go-Giver. Has anybody heard of The Go-Giver? All right. Yeah, Steve. Go-Giver is required reading, I think, for any salesperson and any marketer. It's a story. It's a really quick read, and it's actually like a fictional story. What do they call it? A parable, I think. What they talk about is it's a salesperson who is struggling. He's got to hit his numbers, and he's panicking because he can't do it. He's calling everybody. He's doing everything wrong, you know, what we're talking about. He's just pounding people on LinkedIn. And he meets a mentor, kind of a Yoda-like character, and this guy tells him, he doesn't say anything, he just starts showing what he does. Like he goes out and he does a favor for somebody. He meets somebody in the street and he helps them. He is just constantly giving. He's the go-giver. That's what you need to do to be successful on LinkedIn and to build your networks. You have to offer value up front. Not what you sell, you got to do somebody. And this is going to be a tough one for a salesperson who's on the timeline, but I'm going to show you where you come in as the marketing team and how you can help them make those connections. Because I will tell you that if a salesperson, sales is all about wins, right? Win, getting people to say yes. And if they can just connect with somebody and get a connection, that's a win. They like that. If they can connect with somebody and get a meeting, that's huge. And that'll keep them going. So here's what I did. Reached out to Kate Cash, Fractional Sales Leadership. And I don't know if Kate's watching this, but she is an amazing person in the retail space. Amazing innovator, which I got to once I met her, I found out how she was doing. I was totally blown away. I said, hey, Kate, this is my message to her. We do a lot of marketing work for Marmon Retail Solutions. They own a lot of companies in the retail space in terms of equipping retailers with equipment and things like that. Provides a wide range of services for retailers. Wondering if you'd be up for a call. Be interesting to learn more. See, I intentionally made a typo there. No, I did. I was correct. Be interesting to learn more about what your capabilities are. So yeah, I purposely, butchered this sentence here so I seem more authentic. There might be some ways for us to work together down the road, Craig. This is why I'm no longer a copywriter. I'm write like that.
That's how you talk too, right?
Probably. I hope not, Egan. Oh boy. Kate's response. Sounds great. What does next week look like? I didn't even read the. See, I don't listen and I don't read. I'm going for the gist in life. Provides a wide range of, be interesting to learn, okay, there might be some ways for us to work together down the road. That's even pretty vague, but I'm giving her some value right off the gate, right off the bat. And I'm saying we could work together, we've got potential that we could help you. And of course, we connected. You can have your sales team do this, and one way that's great is that one tactic we use a lot when we're making connections, like with Kate, I could say we like to write content and create content with experts in the field. Would you be willing to share some expertise that you have? And when you do something like that, you can create this. So this is a blog post I wrote, and this is going to keep going. And it's about how to use experts, how to get experts to participate in your content. This may make you ill if you keep watching it or have a seizure. So I'm going to take it off the screen. But Josh in the back has been in a lot of my content. Josh Clemens, incredible social media expert. And it's such an easy thing to do. You ask people opinions and you feature them. I think I featured you, Egan. I hope I have. I better have. And they in turn will share the content, but you're doing them a favor. You're helping them get their message out. And that's one way you can connect with people, make these connections. Your salespeople can say, hey, we could feature you in something if you've got some expertise to offer. And that's where that sales and marketing alignment goes. Should be setting it up out of the gate. So you could get somebody like that, feature them in the content. So pay it forward. Offer the value, pay it forward. How are we doing on time here? I turned my phone off so nobody would call me. Okay, last one. So we did comment, connect with value. The final thing and the most important thing is combining the metrics. Number one rule, sales and marketing alignment. Your number is my number. Guys got to get your numbers together. What is the sales team trying to generate? That's got to be the marketing goal out of the gates. Forget about your likes, forget about your vanity, the website visits from long tail keywords. If it's not helping that final number in some clear way, and you're not conscious of the number and what the salespeople need to generate, you're going to have a hard time winning them over. Okay, I got to speed up here a little bit. So, numbers, keep track of activity. So comments, invites, meetings. Even if they start writing these things down, if you get them in a habit, this is my number, I know I need to get X amount of comments, know I need to get X amount of invites, know I need to get X amount of meetings. Try and get them thinking mindset, activity, and get them out doing these things comments, invites using the tactics here. You can also integrate them into their metrics. So we have a system with our metrics where we pull in all data from different social media and we put it together in a spreadsheet. It's called our digital twin metrics. You put a line item in there for how many impressions did they get on their social media. Reward them for that. Gamify it. Salespeople react to sales content. Throw a bone at them. Throw $750 if you get the most impressions this month. You got to get them motivated and financially compensate them for their activity. Okay, getting started real quick. Your number is my number. Training, use short, hands-on workshop formats. I did a thing where it's a half an hour training program every morning, 8 o'clock. We're going to actually start rolling this out for Winbound soon and going to open it up a little bit to the public. But half an hour, get them on their portfolio, sharing their screen, and show them how to tag people. Do what Kelly was saying. Get them actively doing it on their own profile so they see some reactions. You can usually do that in about a week, and then they're good to go. Get together on your ideal customer profile, collaborate on the content, so you can reach out to these people, tell them we'll feature them. And then the monthly check-in, communication, review content, metrics, rewards, gotta get that going. This is all in an article, bit.ly, getting sales, engage, LinkedIn, and you can also link in with me up there, and I'll send it to you and send you this deck as well. So, sorry, went a little bit long there.
You're good. I'm
good? All right. Any questions?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. That was great. That's great. Here's a fun fact a lot of people don't know, but you all should. This link right here is case sensitive. So make sure you write that down accordingly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we've got time for a couple questions. I'm just going to ask you to repeat whatever questions get asked for the folks at home.
Sir.
This is really good information. Thanks, Gary.
Oh, you bet.
What I've seen on LinkedIn, and I've been somewhat active the last 5 years, is that people are still debating about what LinkedIn is and how to use it. And so how that platform is evolving into whatever it is from whatever it was and how people really think about it. How does that feed into the strategy? Does that change? Because some people are like, nothing personal on this site, it's all professional, and then but professional is more like suit and tie, show your resume. I mean, there's just like this huge chasm of what's considered.
I guess, I could say about that is be yourself.
Repeat the question.
Oh, I'm sorry,
okay.
Josh. The platform has evolved and people have different opinions on how to use it. Does that sound accurate? I guess my take on that would be, there's only one you, and this is your opportunity to be yourself and present yourself and your value. Another thing that I feel like, and I talked to Sam and my daughter about this is, find people who will pay you for what you do and see the value in what you do. And that's what you need to present. And I don't think anything else really matters. But beyond that, in terms of what you post, I'm on there for business. I'm on there to help people. I also need empathy. You need to open up. That initial slide said we hired Sam and we posted this picture of us together, and it blew up because Sam's got a lot of friends on LinkedIn and I don't. But just be yourself and build your referral network. I don't know where I don't know where any of this stuff's going. Chat GPT, who knows what that's going to do? Maybe we'll all be gone in a few years.
So in conclusion, give up.
Yeah, right. Paula?
Yeah, what's your strategy to come up with hashtag
I actually, honestly, I mean, there's probably people out there really good at it. I think there's a guy in town, Jared, who's the LinkedIn guy?
Weiss.
Jared Weiss.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat the question too.
Yeah. Thank you, Egan. Sorry, Josh. What's my strategy for remembering what people say and tell me to do? No, what's my strategy for hashtags and keywords? And I personally, I'm probably should be using them more. Jared says use 3 hashtags, and I think it might even be a better tool to find content that you like and use it to search on. I don't use it a lot. I'm trying to provide, and keywords. I'm trying to reach people with insights and something new, and so I don't know. I mean, keywords to me are, I think, SEO with keywords a little bit more. And again, go to Wade and Breitbarth. He's very good at optimizing your profile, and I'm probably missing a big opportunity there. But I think anything with keywords is just use them intuitively. Be natural with it. 'Cause Google might be gone in a couple of years, honestly. At least the long tail searches, I mean, seriously, ChatGPT is amazing what it can do.
So when you post like an article, you don't always use like hashtags attached to that article?
If I'm making a post, I will put manufacturing marketing, sales and marketing, content marketing. If it's a company, I guess you could put that company name. And I mean, to me, LinkedIn is about tagging. I tag like crazy. When I post a company, I tag prospects, people who are in my pipeline. I tag people in my manufacturing community that are influencers like Will. And then I tag my referral sources. Like 3 different posts per month, tag different people. Especially if you're not a big influencer, so. Anything else?
Who here uses LinkedIn hashtags? Do you find a difference when you do versus when you don't?
I haven't noticed.
I have not noticed either.
I was going to ask, how would you know whether they matter?
I mean, I think if you see that suddenly your reach spikes, like if you ran like a real test, I don't think you could do it once or 3 times over a year, but if you tried it, I've definitely tested hashtags and I've never found my reach to change one way or the other. And for keywords, I mean, you brought up Wayne Breitbarth. I think he's like a great resource. Think about your profile. Keywords matter because when folks are searching, LinkedIn is going to show, I always say, it's great to make up your own job title. I got to do it at my company, but nobody's searching for a marketing ninja. They're searching for a social media professional or an expert or, so think about that in your headline, but also in your, when you're describing yourself. But post to post, I find that that's with it, it's going to do well, and if they don't, that matters. So keywords matter, but not in the same way they do for I have to use this exact phrase this many times. If it feels like you're stuffing keywords into LinkedIn, your content's not going to do well. That's my experience. Let's call it, and Greg will hang out for a few minutes. Thank you again so much. Thank you all for hanging out. Come back next month and join us. We really appreciate you all, and we'll be here next month talking about what's working right now with Facebook ads with Andrew Foxwell. So it should be a good one.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Cool, man. How you doing? Thanks.
Good.